Hello, happy Tuesday, ratbeef.png, everybody. That's gonna be the new sign off for the stream. Every
No.
we'll see you next week, and ratbeef.png.
Adam, I will leave the stream before you say everything.
We're here with another episode of Delve Requisite, right here on Proficiency Bonus. Thank you to our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. You can get links to those websites by tapping ! Little Dragon, ! CCG in chat at any point during tonight's stream. Thank you, Little Dragon Corp. Thank you, Cardboard Castle. Let's get right to it, because we late getting started, so I don't want to waste any more time. Last week, right? Yeah, we did this week.
Yes.
Last week, you guys used Walter's newly upgraded staff of the, or shovel of the Wayfinders, to travel to the city of Lyra, the home base of the Order of the Radiant Dawn. There you spoke with Grand Marshal Andesius, who basically told you he had a vision of Rowan being Paladin Jesus, more or less, and he kind of expected that she would return from her exile one day, and he brought you guys down to the deepest depths below the temple to Helm in Lyra, where he brought you before the source of the Order of the Radiant Dawn's power, the source of the light that all paladins of the Radiant Dawn can wield, something they call the Star of Dawn. And that something turned out to be Corey, the one of these six, which you have now learned, one of the Exarchs, champions of the of six celestial entities that stepped in to try and stop the original Artanis and his patron Tharizdun, the dark chaos god, from destroying the world. Corey, who, in order to help fuel the Order of the Radiant Dawn and give them the power to hold back the blight for all of these years, while the rest of her brethren continue to work on a means to fix the world heart, sealed herself inside a crystal, leaving her line of descendants to come after her, and all lead to Rowan, who has now been gifted the divine spark that makes an Exarch an Exarch, meaning now two members of the party have essentially ascended. We left last week. You had a conversation with Corey. She told you all sorts of things about her time, the original, when all of this originally went down, where she's from, some things that have happened since. She gave Rowan the power, and she kind of was like, I'm gonna go for a walk, and that's where we ended. So we'll basically pick up. We'll say an amount of time has passed. So you guys are still in Lyra. So you can kind of be wherever you want to be. If there's any loose ends you want to wrap up or anything like that, and then you're basically able to make your next moves from there. So I will. I'll turn it to you guys. I'm gonna continue to just play Osrius, so that you guys aren't always operating man down. He's much like the way that Curtis plays him, not going to have that much to say most of the time. So it shouldn't be a huge difference, but I'm not going to step in too much on his behalf. But if you want to include him in something, I'll handle that role. So take it away.
Rowan probably would have, however much time we've been here, after talking with Andesius after what happened with Corey and clearing all of that up, and letting them know, like, we do have to go get this orb. So help with supplies, please and thank you.
Sure.
She probably then would have just.
I was going to
Tried to
also
find her
ask
friend.
if he has spellcasters who have the ability, could they toss comprehend languages on Rowan, Brom, and Osrius? Since I believe Walter and we both speak Invarian. We're going
Okay.
to the capital of High Invaria. Might be useful to have that.
Sure. How long does that spell last?
An hour.
An hour. Okay.
Yeah, that's close.
I
Right,
think,
maybe give us spell scrolls.
or
Right.
or spell scrolls.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I-
Yes. Any other requests or anything like that?
Walter's gonna like look around and be like, "So is this Rowan? Is this the light we were supposed to be seeking out? I'm still lightly cursed at the
I
moment."
had pointed at Corey. That was. Don't know if I am, but we also have a high cleric. I just like high cleric.
Does this man look blitzed out of his mind or just very tall?
Get out.
It's a lady.
Oh well.
Her name is High Cleric Evangeline Delora. You sort of like, as you gesture to her, she was in the room for the uncrystallizing of Corey, and she says, "If I'm not mistaken, I think it very much likely that if anyone has the strength to cure your friend, it would at this point be you, Miss Ambermore."
Cool. Not like last time it didn't trigger a episode of problems.
Well, last time you didn't have access to Greater Restoration. Now you do.
Do I?
Walter's gonna like pop a knife out.
Some of you leveled up.
I say, Walter's gonna like pop a knife out and just start looking around for diamonds. Like, in
Well,
veins.
maybe
You're the
if
one that
some of
keeps trying to
some of
avoid
the
your
others
men.
of you would call your dads, you could level up too.
We were supposed to do that, and then everybody left, and I assumed it was coming.
It's you. Don't worry about it. It is coming.
I am just checking something really quick in my spells because that.
Aylar
I
would
have it on
also
the
request
necklace,
a potion of healing in case he needs to like shove one down somebody who can heal's throat.
Okay.
Well,
Speaking of that, though, I guess what was we determined several sessions ago that they have the power to like
move people.
FaceTime Raynard Nightsgrim, right? We had discussed that there was some way of contacting them.
Do you guys have access to? Because they don't have like mirror access like your Denim people do.
Yeah, I thought like we had discussed that somebody here has had a way to do it.
Somebody has. I think Rowan has like 47 sending scrolls, right?
yeah, Rowan has like
I think that's here.
That's just
You can-
regularly using one sending scroll to ask for 10 more. She's
Can
just
I get
like,
2 scrolls of teleportation? I'm gonna
You
go
can-
there real quick and come back.
Yeah.
This is a face-to-face conversation.
to find out where they are when you're sending.
Walter would be like, "Hold on," and I'll just like open a portal for him to like the bar.
Yeah, you.
Oh, yeah, true.
Walter is able to just open a gateway to the Twilight Royale.
He's already been
He's been,
there, so
yeah.
it's not as like
Yes, places you have
Equal.
already been, you are able to pretty much nail with it, like pretty perfect.
he like
degree of
he
accuracy.
just like grabs the shovel like it's just like
I like to imagine that Walter like takes it and he like sticks it into
Just
the air
scoops out
and he goes,
reality.
and he scoops a big chunk of reality out.
Dig
Poor
know what?
Lippens.
It's a reality hole.
I like that because that's also my somatic component for Mold Earth. So
There you
like
go.
I like the idea of accidentally making a hole into
Yeah,
reality.
you've now got mold Earth and mold space time.
Rowan will look at Walter. She'll be like, "Do you want to try again?"
You know, I think I've gotten all I'm going to get out of it. Its usefulness is not as high as its consequences at this point, so sure.
Rowan just kind of like looks like she's trying to like convince herself this is a really good idea, because after the last one of it failing, it like totally sent her back to like, Pool died in front of me, Thorn died in front of me, I am useless.
What level is Rowan now? 11 or 12?
12.
Yeah, but that was before God came,
Everything, yeah.
Rowan.
So, again, because my very cool magical item, I will take the bead of Greater Restoration
Okay.
and boop Walter.
Alrighty, you boop Walter. Sure. So you use your bead of Greater Restoration from your prayer necklace. The power like flows through you, and you kind of get this sense like before this, you were like cracking the faucet anytime you were like channeling this power through you, and now you have just like
This is the first time she's
opened
used any
the
power.
valve. And as you like kind of like take the bead and you like put it, and then like the bead sort of like crumbles and you like smack the palm of your hand onto Walter's forehead. Walter, you immediately feel from like the point of contact between you and Rowan the like cleansing power of the light like burning this darkness from you. It sort of like starts from your head and works its way down your like into your torso, down your extremities, into your fingers. And all of you see as she does this, it's like a physical like black vapor like burns off of him. And your curse is lifted.
Oh.
You
my dark vision.
so is your dark vision, yeah.
Oh, it's darker in here than I
Yeah.
expected it to be.
You
Speak about sunlight now.
somewhere like kind of like internally, Walter, you feel like a sigh of relief, as if like a pretty significant exertion has finally been like lifted, that doesn't necessarily feel like it originated from you, but you feel this blackness be lifted from your soul by the power of the light.
Well,
The High Cleric's like,
No more scary eyes.
wow.
we're also they're just tired now.
Yeah,
Like what's been hiding behind the pits of darkness is just
it's just
tired.
exhaustion.
I mean that's everybody at this point. So, Alar,
Thank
slaps her on the shoulder. All done.
Yeah,
All right,
she
I
kind of stands
promise-
there for a minute, like waiting for something to go wrong, just in case. She's like,
I promise no more super cursed objects
mhm.
You can't make that promise.
Can I get that in writing?
in here.
In Lyra.
Yeah.
In the Temple of Hell of the Radiant Dawn.
Yep.
I look
All
at
right,
the cleric.
that's a promise you can make.
Okay.
You guys don't. It's Walter turns. You guys don't have any super cursed objects here.
You
like,
see
right?
that
That's
guy?
definitely
You
not-
see that? Do you see the meat guy from
Not the fucking
Day?
guy's still here.
He's like in a corner and he's like about to open his trench coat, and you say that, and he's like, "Duh, drat." And he, like, scurries away.
I'll open a portal to, I don't know, Mythland Day back out underneath his feet, so he teleports away back to hell where he came.
Before Rowan does anything else or moves, because it's like that was the first time she's probably like used any light power since Corey. She's just been like talking to people here as needed. She's gonna take a minute remembering what Corey told her about like and being able to sense everybody, like potentials
Mhm.
and evil and things like that. And she's just like, I wonder. And we'll just take a minute to think about Malark to try to gauge if he's on the side of light or on the side of dark, or if she can't sense him at all.
You can sense him.
Okay.
Much like when... So, you guys, like, he used paladin powers on y'all when you fought him.
Yeah.
And you saw then that, like, the power was different. So you can still feel him. He is still connected to you through this power. But there is something on his end that is, like, twisting the power. Like, it's... You know that he... You know, if he had lost, like, faith and devotion in, like, his causes and his oaths, he would lose his ability, right? Like, you know, much like what happened to you for a long time. Yet, he is turning this power towards something that is counter to, like, what it is supposed to be used for. So it's more like, you know, the others, it, you know, Corey described it as like lighting a torch off of another torch. You know, it is a very shared, you know, each person, like, lights their torch and burns with their own light connected, you know, all stemming from this central one. His feels more like he is, like, drawing the heat of the flame to himself by force. But it's still there. And what you make of that is your decision.
Just when she feels it and realizes it's him and feels the difference, doesn't really think it's going to do anything, but she's just going to think about all the times when they would work together and she would shoulder bash him, like a little good job, kind of like how Alar just did to her.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like just like the memory of the connection when it was better. Just focuses on that with him there, like in her head, trying to like almost use like ascending, but not use ascending in a sense of just like fucking remember, dude, and then she just lets it go.
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, not that good at that.
It's gonna be a high DC too, I'll tell you that.
No, not gonna. 14, I don't think is high enough.
No, so you do, like, as you kind of like instinctively make this attempt, you feel like there's something to that. There's something to that concept of trying to reach across this connection to somebody who is connected to me through this way, but it is beyond your comprehension of like how this is still very new for you. So you don't know what happened, but you didn't feel like you successfully were able to do what you were trying to do.
Yeah. And she'll just kind of shake her head and look to the others and go, okay. Where to?
Alright, so Brahm, you're pit stopping, right?
Yeah.
You want any of us to go with you? Or?
I was gonna say anybody who like Brahm is basically to be like anybody who wants to come. Also, I assume does Walter have to come?
No.
Or does the portal just stay open?
He can maintain the portal.
Yeah, I can maintain.
Oh, like basically, it's like Brahm doesn't care who comes, so it's like also metagame wise for anybody who doesn't want to sit here and not be involved in a scene. Feel free to come along.
Can you describe Isengrim and Renard's bar to me?
It's like a fancy burlesque house, essentially.
So it's a fancy burlesque house. Walter
like
will,
jazz club burlesque house.
Walter
like
will,
the Moulin Rouge, kind of.
Yeah,
That's
so,
kind of
there you go. Yeah.
Walter will open the portal and maintain the portal on stage left of the stage.
I'll go with you.
So Brahm will have to come out on stage.
He feels like he
through.
could pass the news of Zalzavest passing to his comrades.
Yeah, we were going to resurrect that guy, weren't we?
It seems like they know, but
oh no, that was your buddy.
You're gonna resurrect. What's this, your?
Oh yeah, should we resurrect him first and bring him with us?
Well, he's back with the lady and
Did
an
they
Honor
ever?
ends.
Yeah,
Time
did they
is.
ever-
But Walter says in character, time and space are trivial. Where do you want to
Yeah,
go?
we can get that man's body and bring it back first.
Actually, wait. Can I open a second portal?
Oh, good God.
Walk through one portal to grab a body, and then come
I'm
back
just,
and walk
I'm
through
just
the other
gonna have a
portal.
portal open next to where his body's being held, and then just
Make-
fuck it into.
An Arcana check.
Oh,
You know what?
good
I'm gonna
God.
make. I'm gonna make that Arcana check. Would anybody like to give me bardic inspiration for this Arcana check?
Sure. Would anybody?
Would anybody?
I
is-
cannot
what is-
help
are you a
I-
D8 or a
you are the
D10?
one with the artifact.
Let me check. I think it's a D10 now. 1d10 for 10 minutes.
Red. So that's a total of a 21 with the bardic inspiration.
Okay, I was gonna say.
To whether I know if I can, whether I
Oh, to
attempt
whether
it
you
or
know
not.
if you can. So you're not making the attempt right now. You're just trying to think. Can you? Is that's the check you're asking to make?
The problem is, would Walter think about that first? The answer
Would
is
he have just done it?
Walter is just going for it. I got a 21 on the Arcana.
You.
I just lifted a curse. It's fine. I can handle one more.
Sure. You know that, like, it can be done because, well, potentially, like, the full version of this artifact that you saw Artanis wielding, like, he opened a shit ton of them.
Right.
So, like, theoretically it's possible, right? So, like, you kind of, with that in the back of your mind, you sort of leap before you look with this, and you just, like, kind of pull open another opening. It's not easy. You essentially have to, like, hold the sort of, like, the spatial awareness of both places that you're trying to connect to in your mind at one time. You definitely get the sense that, like, the way that Artanis was doing it, opening, like, a bunch of portals all from the same place, all to the same place, would be easier than what you're trying to do, which is open, like, a distinct portal from here to another place and then here to another place. But you manage to do it. You open a portal into the chamber of the speaker back in Honorand, while you are still maintaining the portal to the Twilight Royale. And I guess for the sake of expediency, they're just like, oh, we wrapped this up for you already, and they just fucking huck. Conveniently, they're like, here you go.
Waving high, all of a sudden,
No, they
There's a dead body on me.
that would be preposterous. I have to flip through 16 versions of notes. The old man who was your guide, I want to say his name was
Jonathan?
no.
Motheus.
It was like Oliver or something like that.
yeah,
Oliver
I think
sounds
it was
right.
Oliver.
He's there, and you kind of tell him, like, we need the body of that person that we put here. And he says, yes, there's a picker had it interred in the blah, 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 and he sends somebody to go retrieve it.
Walter's gonna, like, peek through the portal, like, you're not questioning any of this?
He's like,
Don't worry about it.
He's like, no, I was. He says, I've been here. We live in a city that has a like a portal to like another plane of existence beneath it. I'm pretty chill about this type of stuff.
That tracks.
Alar is going to break out the staff of healing.
And before he uses it, Walter's gonna look at Brahm. It's like, remember, you're bringing them back because you want to. No conditions. Please.
Yeah, we don't do this for favors.
I wasn't going to.
There's an implication at one
We've
point.
traveled with you for a couple of years.
But
Rowan just pats Walter on the back.
it's sorry. It's still a little painful.
Corey is like kind of steps up with you guys. At some point, she like wandered into the chamber where you guys have been like having all these conversations, doing this stuff, and she follows Walter's statement up with. She says, "Just something to think about. You're bringing him back whoever this man is, because you want to, you should consider whether he wants to.
Walter, can you ask
So
him?
we could kill him again.
Rowan leaves.
Aylor just
leave.
kind of looks at like he looks at the staff like, would this survive me hitting him with it?
Rowan just loops her arm with Corey's and goes, I'm going to give you an update on everything you've missed in the last millennia. And, like, she was going to
You like lead her away, and she's like, I suppose, but she kind of looks like she wants to watch what they do.
If she doesn't move, then I'm not moving.
No,
her.
she
I'm
goes.
so afraid
She
of her.
happily like goes.
So can
I'm
Walter?
just stepping out for this body moment because Rowan doesn't
Oh.
know how to handle it either. She's coming
Wal-
back for the Isengrim visit because she's never
So-
seen them.
Walter is going to kill the portal, the second portal.
Sure.
Once the body's in our possession, he's going to kill the second portal. Because I don't think he is confident in his ability to spellcast while maintaining
Sure.
his portals. So I will do that, and then I will speak with Dead,
Okay.
and I will ask him,
So.
given the opportunity.
Oh no! I forgot. I have to. He has a voice. I have to remember how to do.
You can use
Sinclair,
generic. You can use generic corpse voice if you wanna.
It was in it.
He is currently
like-
a corpse.
It's Nick
What's his
Offerman.
face? Nick
yeah,
Offerman?
Oh yeah, he was Nick Offerman.
he was Ron Swanson. Okay.
Yes.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
So I'll use cast with Dead, or cast with Dead. Speak with Dead.
I cast Cat with Dead.
Cat with Dead.
So the corpse sort of like opens his eyes. Christ, I gotta dig through so much. Like, we've been like all over the DM binder on this one tonight. What the hell is his name?
Randall Sinclair.
Sinclair.
He's
I was
Randall
looking
Sinclair.
for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know what
All right.
questions I want to ask.
So Sinclair kind of like opens his eyes.
Mr. Sinclair, if given the opportunity to return to the land of the living, would you like to do so?
He kind of like pauses as if considering, and he says, I don't see why I wouldn't.
This man is in hell. He's in one of the hells.
He's
Pineapples
a
every
person in
day.
hell.
Anyway, so Walter will dismiss the spell.
Okay.
That's it. That's all we need to know.
Like we can ask him where his like hidden stash of
No.
goods are. Like I'm not gonna shake him down when he's a corpse.
Where were the other drugs going?
So.
When
Aylar,
after I hear a voice that I don't recognize because Rowan wasn't there for him, and that whole shenanigan, and then it stops, she'll poke her head back and go, "What's the plan?" And I feel like Corey's like we're Scooby Dooing around the door.
Rowan's like, oh shit, is that Nick Offerman?
Everyone's like,
He's gonna read what little info the Ignians left about that thing, and touch the end of the staff to Sinclair's head and try and power it.
I believe
You
the
feel
smack
a
component is wake up.
you
Thwack.
feel a power surge through the staff, and a brilliant emerald green light like rockets down the length of it to the tip where you have touched it to his forehead, and there is like a flare of light, and like both of his eyes like bolt open and are like pure emerald green for a moment before they sort of like fade away, and you see that his like chest rises and falls, and he like opens his eyes and he says, I don't understand what happened. Where are we?
Not in the Shadow Realm.
Holy shit! It worked.
Mr. Sinclair, the next
He
20
probably
minutes
remembers being in
are
prison.
going to be very disconcerting, but
Yeah, he like starts to sit up. He sees he's like in like a different set of clothing. He's in like a flowing like.
Wasn't he wrapped like a mummy?
We wrapped him up to get him out.
You wrapped him up. What they did is they like they put him in like a set of like linen clothing to be like buried in, and he's like.
He's in jorts.
Yeah, the ceremonial honor him in jean shorts. He looks down at
Jean
himself.
shorts of elven kind.
And he goes, okay, apparently I passed out during the escape, and I'm concerned, based on the state of my clothing, that one or more than one of you has seen my downstairs business.
None of us, thankfully. Some
I
other
feel
people probably.
significantly better about that.
Yeah. So anyway, due to reasons, you were formerly deceased. Welcome back. Long story short, we've more or
We just gloss over the big
He just
fact.
woke up from being dead.
No.
Yeah, so your adoptive pseudo son here wanted to bring you back with this artifact we found.
Well, all of the words that are coming out of your mouth are wrong and stupid.
Rom, could you talk with your friend?
How long have I been dead for?
2 months.
No, not.
I don't. What? Yeah. What's? How long
Hey,
in
when-
game time has it been?
3 days?
No, it's been longer than that.
No. Escape? No. Let's see.
That was
We-
like 3
we-
months ago in real life.
He died.
In
A
a
day
month.
later, we met Rowan.
It's less than 10 days because I cast
It
the.
is
But-
less than it is. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
about a 10-day. It has not been
Okay,
that long
okay.
in game time.
Okay. About 9 days.
Oh,
To be fair, you look great, having been deceased for 9 days.
this is. To
Also-
be honest, I feel pretty good having been deceased. Apparently.
Yeah. So, welcome back. Use your second life to the best of your ability. Not a lot of people get a second shot.
He sort of like looks at the group of you and he goes, "Not that I'm not grateful, but why?"
Well, the way I see it, you spent most of your life so you could give me a chance. So I figured it was the least we could do to let you have a chance after spending like 20 years in the Estelgath.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty. That sucked pretty hard.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it makes up for it, but it was the least we could do, especially we found the stick of undeading.
It's not undeading.
Worse. It's a stick of aliving.
Realiving, yes.
Yeah.
Undeading, reliving.
Very different. Remarkably
Okay.
different.
I look at Corey.
Upsettingly different.
Alar is going to put the staff back into the bag of holding.
I'm just looking at Corey like, yeah, these are the people that have been picked, including me.
She seems
have
to
you all
like.
done?
She doesn't seem surprised by any of this.
And
Like you get the
Alar's
sense that
gonna
she's
hold
familiar
up
with
4
these guys
fingers. You can do that 4 more times with this, so we don't have to use them.
I mean, Rowan
Absolutely.
gets an idea and then she like walks away, and you just hear her yelling, "I'm gonna need some diamonds, thanks," and comes back because she has Revivify.
Is there...
Yeah. Anyway,
This is something that we would have discussed at some point, so that's why I'm not doing a character. Is there like a limit to how long somebody can be dead before we can use... has been dead before we can use this thing on them?
His thing?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
I think the body just has to be largely
Yeah, like
intact.
it's not a level of resurrection that like will create a new body for something.
It's got to be.
okay.
It's raised dead. It's not.
So you can't go
resurrect.
get somebody's skeleton and resurrect
Yeah,
it.
you can't revive someone's armor into like a cow. Funny though it would be. Sorry.
I was asking. Brom was essentially gonna... Brom would have tried to revive at least one of his dead family with it.
Believe me, when Alar realized the capability of this thing, there was a
Yeah, that's why I
brief
figured
moment that he's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
no.
Get your sister.
We've looked
get
into
your
it.
dad.
Her body was most likely burnt because plague. So yeah, no.
Oh yeah, so the guys that trapped you there are actively attempting to end the world as we know it. So
Yeah, so we may have brought you back just to die in the apocalypse anyway, but you know.
you get at least another half day worth of adventures in.
Also,
Fair enough.
the and Alar points to both him and Brahm. Your mentors apparently very powerful, and
Says, I did always sort of know that.
yeah, but really fucking powerful. And we're gonna have a talk with them. And I thought you might.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask about the actively open portal to the Twilight Royale 4 feet from us while we're having all this conversation, but yeah. Yeah, I'm down.
So
Hungry, actually, a little. I could use bacon.
Get that.
Yeah. Get us all the bacon and eggs you have.
Bring us all of the bacon and eggs in Lyra.
You'll get an inkling for raw meat on occasion. It passes at time.
Alar just takes a small, slow half step away from Walter.
Like undercooked, not like kicking. Probably.
I'm gonna.
Well, you're saying a lot of.
Twilight
You're saying a
Royale.
lot of bad.
Yeah.
Alar's just gonna walk into the portal at that point. It's just, I'm done.
Sinclair's
This
like,
whole-
you and I probably should not converse.
Yeah,
as a rule.
I'll be here. It's
Yeah, well, dude, that whole conversation was like your mouth was falling down the stairs.
sorry. I'm suddenly uncursed and everything feels light and free.
This is light and
waited.
free.
Maybe I should have waited. Rowan walks through the portal after Alar.
You guys got soup.
Sinclair like shakes his head. He's like, "Man's light and free, and he's recommending raw meat to people. Good." He walks through the portal.
Walter thinks out loud. Maybe there's multiple ways to bring people back. Anyway, I'll see you all when you're done. I'm gonna go take a nap. I feel like I might actually get a nice nap out of this. An awake nap, the kind where you lay down and think about things, not the asleep
Just like,
nap.
well,
where the
now that
portal-
Walter can actually
where the
close
portal
his eyes.
closes. Yeah. Blinking is amazing.
I feel like Oz is just standing there looking at Walter like, I guess I'll
I
stay here.
was like, I don't understand anything that's happened in the last 20 minutes.
Roll initiative.
Okay, you.
When do I get to punch?
For those of you who have walked through the portal into the Twilight Realm, you enter, and immediately you can tell that the tavern is closed. There's nobody inside it. The lamps are all out. There is a little bit of like kind of a film of dust. Not heavy, but like at least probably a few weeks worth of like accumulation. Like the tavern seems to have been closed down. You step out like onto the stage. You look out across the quiet tap room, and the like clunk of a bottle onto the bar top gets your attention. And Brahm, you see, I didn't find it in my notes here. I think I said her name was Rella. She's like she runs the place when Reynard and Isengrim are like off on one of their adventures. She's like sitting behind the bar with her like feet propped up on it, and a like mostly empty bottle of some sort of brown liquor on the table in front of her, and a glass in her hand. And she says, "I figured you'd turn up eventually. They're not here."
Loud curse and draconic.
Is any idea where they are?
She says, they left. Fuck. Where did I? She like rummages around. You can tell she's like a little drunk. And she brings out and she sets on the table. And I'm gonna let Russell. I'm gonna let you tell me what she sets on the table. Because Brom, what you recognize, this like item that she sets, it is something that you have seen before. It has meaning to you. It is when you were a young lad growing up, and they would often like go off doing whatever it was that they were doing. Which you have later learned was, well, you already sort of knew it was like smuggling people out of the Empire, and have now since learned it like may also have been like Exarch stuff. And they were like they would leave something behind as a message to you that said like, we're gone, like we're gone away for a while, but like we'll be back soon, and like we'll come check in with you. Like we'll essentially, it's like an indicator that like they're gone somewhere right now, but like they're coming back for you. What is that? What is that thing? What is that item?
I think it's a monogrammed red silk handkerchief.
Okay. She like sets this handkerchief on the bar. She says, they left this, and off they went.
Any idea where?
She like gestures away from here.
How long?
What's today?
Taylor has to think for a moment, then he says it.
About a month.
Well, Walter's not here, but do we think that Walter can just be like, and try and imagine where they are and show, like, open a portal where they
Probably
are?
not. He needs like a physical location in space rather than a person.
Rowan?
Rowan passes from ascending scroll.
I'm going to try something else before that, instead of that.
That's fine.
I will take that, but I'm basically
Yeah.
I'm going to try one thing before doing that. He will like set all his equipment and stuff down, and he will take out his violin, and he will play the music that was on that like sheet music that they gave him.
Okay.
Which at this point he's definitely memorized because he's like stared at it
Sure.
for hours on end.
You were able to play that. It's not a particularly long piece of music. You sort of play it. You see that Rella behind the bar like sets her glass down and sort of like closes her eyes as she listens to it. Sinclair sort of like folds his arms and leans against the table as he's sort of watching you play. Make a history
Performance?
check.
History?
Not a performance, just a history check.
Great. Rom is way better at one of those things. What's my
This is just to see if you
history?
if you remember something, or if you like sort of put something together.
History is a +2. Where is literally any of my D20s in this bag? That is... 17.
So you get to the end of the piece of music, and like nothing especially happens. Rella sort of sighs, and she says, "It's nice to have music in here again. There should be music in here." What you kind of remember as you get to the end of this music, you don't necessarily like put two and two together as you've been like off book for a while now, having like memorized it. But you remember back to the like the scroll tube and the piece of parchment that was in it, and you make the connection that you're like, oh, the piece of music, the sheet music that they gave me. He's like, you're like, ooh, I've seen this before, or rather, I had this, and I saw it again just recently, and it's not till just now that I'm like getting this connection. That like sheaf of music is what you saw Reynard snatch off of the music stand in the High Anvarian Palace when Silarax the Black escaped. So that piece of music is a 1,500-year-old piece of sheet music that opens the floor of the High Anvarian Palace. And something
So
about
Brahm
like playing it in this chamber like makes that connection for you.
Yeah, Brahm does finish his playing, and then he goes, "Well, it didn't do what I thought it was going to do, but I did just figure out what it does do.
What is it?
This definitely opens the chamber in the High Variant.
That's how we get the orb. Well done, Brahm.
Sinclair kind of like clears his throat and he says, Brom. He points at the monogrammed handkerchief. He says, I know what that means. I spent my entire life believing very strongly that the two of them had a pretty important role to play in something. And through them, that you did. With everything that's happening, I'd like to say that I think my faith in them has been rewarded. You're looking for them now, and I get why. But it seems like they've still got a few plans of their own cooking. And he points at the handkerchief again. He says, but that tells me that they're telling you to trust them. At least one more time. That they'll find you when the time is right.
Brahm will leave the stage and walk over to the bar, and pick up the handkerchief and like tuck it into his jacket pocket. He's not going to say anything, but he's like, that's Brahm's way of being like, all right, fine.
You do that. Make an insight check as you do that.
I know I was trapped.
22.
22. As you like pick it up and Sinclair like delivers this speech, you kind of see like Rella kind of has a face on. She's like,
Brahm is not going to do anything except just make hard eye contact with her.
so she like drinks
as
her
if
drink
like
and tries
to
be
say
nervous.
like he noticed that and he's like, "You gonna say something or
So-
what?"
She like drinks her drink, like takes another sip, and then she's like sets it down a little hard, and she goes, he goes, "No offense to Mr. Sinclair, but isn't that a little bit bullshit?" She says, "How long we known each other, Brom? This is what they do. They have their own thing going on, the two of them, and." Yeah, they helped us out of a tight spot, so we owe them. But they just leave, and we're supposed to not know what's going on, not ask any questions, and just trust them. Aren't you tired of trusting them? She's like, she gestures, she's like, this bar is my life. And they locked the doors and disappeared. Don't let the dust bunnies pile up, Rilla. She like points at the handkerchief. She says, "I don't know. If I were you, I'd be tired of asking how high when they said jump."
Speaking. Side note, I forgot that I took message on our last.
Message is just
so-
short range, though.
Yeah, I was gonna try something. There's something I want to do, but I want to see if I have.
I recommend messing with the local villagers. It's very fun.
Let's say I want to see if there's anything magical we can do. Yeah, there's something I can kind of do. He's not going to say anything to her, but he's going to go. He'll walk out like towards the entrance of the the exit / entrance of the theater. And he'll like stand at the door and then look back at her, and then, not knowing if it's like actually locked or not, Brahm is going to like very aggressively like kick open the door. And if it's locked, do you want to make a strength check, or does Brahm as a half orc just have the ability to kick a door in?
I think it is locked, but it's not like barred, right? So like the lock is just like the little lock.
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna make you a check. Like you kick the door, and like you definitely break the locking mechanism on the door, but you don't like kick the door down.
Yeah, that's
and
what I
you
meant.
just, boom, you kick
I'm
the
just-
door, and the
yeah,
door like bangs
breaking the
open
lock was
to
what
the
I
street.
wanted. And Brahm goes out on the street and points up with one finger, and with minor illusion, like relights the marquee
Okay.
and goes back inside. And he finally says to her, just because they leave doesn't mean we have to sit around with our thumbs up our asses. And then at that point, he will open the scroll that Rowan gave him, and he'll send it to Reynard.
Okay.
And it'll be real simple of either he's just gonna say, you know what, he's not gonna give him an option. I was gonna say come home or give coordinates, but he's just gonna say shows on.
What's that?
Shows on. Showtime. Showtime. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. Back right now.
Make a persuasion roll.
Finally something I'm good at. Though not as good as... lying. 26. No, 25.
25.
I rolled a 19.
There's a little bit of a pause, and then you get back. You get back. There is a possibility it breaks the timeline.
Can I respond, or do I have to open another
I
scroll?
think you have to open another scroll.
When Rowan sees his face get a little annoyed, she just passes him another.
Yeah, he just has his brow for Rowan, and he goes, and out loud he all just sort of goes, "Fuck the." And at that point, Brahm is going to stand center stage. Does Dusty, not Dusty, Jesus.
Alar.
Alar, have any play any?
Your mic is cutting out.
You
real
are
weird.
cutting in and out. Something fierce, man.
Maybe it might be coming unplugged. Is Alar proficient with any sort of instrument at all?
Yes, actually. He has he learned a while ago, although he hasn't played in quite some time, and the Ascension has given him back a little bit of knowledge that he had. He knows how to play a piano.
Cool. And does Rowan know how to play any instruments? Okay, this works out. Brahm will roll out a piano. Or Brahm's gonna.
You're cutting it
You're
out
out again.
super bad.
Technology.
You gotta do it
How's this? Any better?
AM
You're
radio style. Just talk directly into the microphone.
No, I think it might be the connection. It might be coming out of the back of the computer. I just unplugged it. Whatever. Brahm's gonna take off his rings and give them to Rowan. They're the rings that let you be able
You
to
can play
play-
those
play
rings
any
allow you to play
instrument?
any instrument.
Yes.
No. Okay.
So it's just temporary, but basically, we're gonna be on stage playing.
Nope, cut out.
And there it goes again.
I can play the herbalism kit.
He's covering his
Nope.
mic. as
Yeah,
he
Alar's gonna,
scrambles around underneath his desk.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna look at the piano for a second. He's going to tap out a few notes.
The only thing he knows how to play is Piano Man by Elvin Billy Joel.
Yes, that's it. That's all Alar learned how to play. No, it's a little bit of a melancholy set of notes.
What we have here. I like the idea that Walter is watching all of this unfold from just the angle he can see into the room from the stage. It's just I'm watching. I don't know if I could hear things through the portal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like as though it's like a
Okay.
wormhole. I'm.
Yeah, it's
That
not a
doesn't work.
portal,
I don't
it's
know what else to
literally,
do.
We can hear you again.
Okay. So you're playing on stage, right?
Yeah, basically we're gonna be playing, waiting for them to show up.
Okay.
Rowan plays whatever instrument they give her, but in her head she just goes,
Well, what does Roman
Mother would
want?
be
The
so
Twilight
proud.
Royale definitely has a full orchestra.
Hot cross buns and the pan flute. Let's go.
Rowan sarcastically my mother would be so proud of me right now, learning a skill.
I think Rowan would play the harp.
I was just gonna say harp.
I was gonna say, Walter's watching
Pulling
this
a
and listening.
big full harp.
And, he kind of gestures Corey over.
Bigger than Osrius.
Fine.
Do you want to see your great granddaughter's first recital?
Of course,
Yeah,
Rowan
well,
I'm
it's
sorry. I'm just picturing Walter saying that, and Corey's just charging right through.
Yeah, when this has been more than
Picture her
a
going, no.
5-minute conversation, we will have went and gotten Walter. This is gonna be a thing.
That's fine. Okay.
No. Walter is. I can watch right through the portal. Like we are
Walter's playing the shovel. He's just banging his shovel on beat.
That is
What is
what I
shovel?
got.
Oz the symbol.
I say I can't
we give
dance.
Oz a triangle.
Oz
I got
has
a
a
shovel.
triangle.
I got the or a timpani drum.
Yeah.
Wasn't he
Okay.
proficient with
Yeah.
drums?
Corey will come in.
I think Oz does have a drum.
I believe Oz does have a drum.
Okay. So, here's what happens. You begin to play your song. After a little while, there is a flash of light, and teleporting into the space is Reynard. He is wearing like a full suit of like fitted battle armor. And he has a pair of, like, he has two slender swords sheathed on either side. He, like, pops in facing away from, like, the stage, and then, like, turns around as you guys are all playing. And he says, "Oh, what a strange and delightful accompaniment." He says, "Hold on, I think Grim will be along momentarily." And there is like a second flash, and the biggest wolf that any of you have ever seen like appears in the room. And it definitely has a ripped off arm wearing an Ignean naval like uniform sleeve in its mouth, which it promptly like gulps down, and then turns into Isengrim, and he goes like wipes a little blood away, and he just sort of like folds his arm, and he says, he starts to say something, and then he notices Corey, and he like whaps Reynard, and Reynard notices Corey, and they both go like, "Ah!" And they like run at each other, and they like hug very like joyously. Even Isengrim, who is like classically perpetually stoic, is you see is like getting a little teary.
I'm imagining Jay and Silent Bob for no reason.
They begin to speak to each other, the three of them, in a language that like y'all don't understand. You do recognize some of the like the patterns of the like consonants and syllables and stuff as the language that you heard Torian use at Zalzaveth. And then they like break apart, and Corey goes like, and points over to Brahm, who I assume is like in my heart is like playing the violin with like eyes locked.
Oh no, he's got the band door. He's doing that.
No, he's on his
from-
violin, because he was taught to play the violin by Reynard. So.
And they like converse with Corey for another minute. They kind of ask her some questions. You hear Torian like several times in their conversation, and then like the two of them turn, and they seem like they wait to see whether you're gonna like finish your song, like, you know, like what you want to do, like when you're ready to like begin the conversation you want to have, like when you like will come to them. So they just wait.
Rama's gonna keep playing, and he's like, I don't have much to say, so I'm just gonna listen to what you have to say.
Reynard goes, "I see. Well, Corey has told us a little bit about what has transpired, what she has already told you. So you know what we are, oui?"
Vaguely.
then the very short version is that we are like Corey. We were granted power by a god 10,000 years ago in order to stop the original Artanis from destroying the world by disconnecting the world out. We only partially succeeded, and we have spent the remainder of our very long lifespans trying to set right what we could not stop in the first place. For many of those years, we were following the guidance of sort of the first among us, the man you know as Troyan Adrian. He is connected to the goddess of fate, and because of his connection, he is able to see the weave and help to manipulate it. He nods to Corey. He says, Corey tells me that he is taking the loss of Zalzeveth particularly hard, and has how you say fucked off, yeah, oui, and that it seems very much that we are sort of flying by the seat of our pants.
Sorry about your friend.
He kind of nods, and he says, it is a loss that we will mourn for however long we have left on this realm. But later, first, we must see this through. Isengrim says, we were supposed to meet you before you make your transition to the fortress. That is where we were. Your summons to return us. We debated. This is not the path that we were supposed to be following. But since it seems that the paths are all crossed and out of order, we suppose that it is time we take your lead. So we return. And Reynard says, perhaps there are some questions you might like to ask, so that we may answer the things that you wish to know.
He thinks for a moment, and eventually first thing comes to his mind is, why me? Of all the orphans that you could have plucked out of from whatever, why am I the one that you deemed to be the one that has to go on and take on dragons and the end of the world?
They kind of look at each other, and something sort of unspoken passes between them. And Isengrim says, you are misguided as to your impression of your singular nature. For 10,000 years, we have been trying to find someone capable of replacing us. The answer is unsatisfying for you. You are the one because you are the one. It took us all of this time to find someone who can take on these things. We tried and failed many times. And Reynard says, ever the more, like, gentle of the two, he says, you are special, Abraham, eh? There is no rhyme or reason, yes? Some people, they can pick up an instrument and master it in a matter of days. Some people, they can never learn more than just the basics. It is nothing that we have control over. It is simply the whim of fate, yes? And in this matter, you are the one.
Did you ever think of being less cryptic at any point until now? Do you think that that maybe would have been useful?
You have met Torian, yes? You have heard his whole spiel?
I don't think we'd hear his whole spiel with 10,000 more ears, but
Reynard, Isengrim goes like, and Isengrim goes, we have been listening to his spiel for 10,000 years. He is connected to the goddess of fate. He can see that actions have consequences. There are events which must take place. So he says there are events which can be nudged in the right direction. If nudged the wrong way, more harm would be done than good. And Reynard says, it was not that we did not want to be honest about it, but I mean, first of all, what kind of pressure would that put on a person, eh? To tell you from a child, oh, by the way, you are probably the chosen one, you are going to have to inherit the celestial power from us and kill a god? It would have robbed you of any chance that you would have had to reclaim any part of normalcy in your life. Enough of that had been taken from you.
All my life, everybody I've ever known has tried to tell me what my path is. My parents tried to put me on a path. The people that murdered them tried to put me on a path. The slave masters tried to put me on a path. You and Isengrim tried to put me on a path. Oh, the fucking Rat King put me on a path. Brotherhood put me on a path. Torian fucking Idrian put me on his path. And you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm gonna choose my own path. Because this is my path. This is Alar's path. This is Osrius's path. This is Walter's path. This is Rowan's path. And he pauses for a moment. Finally,
God damn it. Cut out again.
and he plays the final note on the violin. He goes, so I'm choosing my path. And if that path is to come face to face with a god and punch it in the fucking face, then I guess that's what we're gonna do.
And the two of them look at each other, and then they look at Corey, and Corey goes And Reynard says, then, in that light, we will give you the choice. We will give you all of the information. Full honesty, eh? It was Torian's assertion that towards the end, when you had gathered what you needed, the power source, the dragon orb, when you were ready to make your jump to head to where you might face off with the Brotherhood and set this right, we would be there to clear the way for you, to allow you to make that journey. And it was then that we were to bestow upon you the powers that we have carried with us these 10,000 years. But we are here now. Torian has lost his way. I hope that he will come back around before this is over. He has worked a very long time to try and save this world. But it seems we are off of his path now. So,
Those were his words.
yes. So then the choice is yours. You can either take what we have to give you, the last gift that we can give you now, or we will return to where we came from, and when you meet us there, we will give it to you then, as had been foretold to us.
I'm gonna take it now.
Walter was gonna be like, yeah, Torin kind of like used up all of his power and like really fucked himself up in this situation. And like as soon as Brom says, yeah, I'm gonna take it now, I was like, oh, well, he doesn't need to know that part. Then it's fine. It's like it was gonna be off book anyway, so it's like.
He goes, I'm tired of sticking to the path and the timeline, and this is what the weave says. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna make my own path.
Seems to be how we've survived so far.
And that path is gonna be a direct line from my boot to Artanis' nutsack.
Ooh, let me try that real fast. I'm gonna open a portal.
Reynard kind of like grins and he says, spoken like one who is truly destined to be the power of the era, eh? And the two of them like approach you, and Reynard says, perhaps when this is all over, we can have a longer conversation, my boy, but for whatever it is worth to you, well, always we have shouldered the burden of being the exarch of the goddess of chicory. And while that has meant that there are certain things that we did not ever tell you, as far as we are concerned, it did not make the fact that you have grown into a good man, and one that we are proud to have helped shape in whatever way that might have been, any less real. We were never your parents, truly. In many ways, Abraham, you were always your own parent, eh? So perhaps I shall say... And Isengrim says, it was an extreme pleasure to watch you grow into the man that you are. We are very proud.
Brahm's not going to say anything, but he will begin to play the song, which is like the first song that they ever taught him.
Okay.
So that's it.
You do that, and Reynard, as you do that, Reynard like goes around and like into the back, and he comes out with his own violin, and Isengrim like hops up onto the stage, and he grabs like an upright like cello, and the two of them join you, and they begin to accompany you in this song. And as the three of you play this song, and those of you who are watching look on, you see that the vibration of the music in the air begins to take solid form, and it begins to coalesce into a sort of purple light which swirls through the air, like kind of like caressing everybody in the room, drawing you all into its embrace. And it eventually gathers around the three players on the stage as you work your way towards the like crescendo of this song. And as you do, it begins to like filter away from Reynard and Isengrim and into you. And the sound of this music reaches like a fever pitch and gathers into you, and as you all like play the final note of the piece of music, there is like a resonance, a single pure perfect note like carries through the air and fades out, and it is done. The power of the Exarch is transferred from the two of them into you, and you level up, and you feel that you are immortal.
We're level 12 now.
I believe you're level 12 now.
That's unless anybody else has got it. That's like all Brahm is gonna. He'll once we finish and stuff, we'll leave.
Well, Brahm, I guess. Are you gonna hold on to that? Do you want to leave that handkerchief with them until you return? Said Walter, who was not in the room at the time you got it.
He's not gonna do that, but he does pull a purple silk monogrammed.
Oh, he's got his own monogram.
Yeah.
Hankies.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is it a monogram or does it have his face on it?
It's a monogram. It's his BR.
You like you pull that out, and they see that like you've got purple monogrammed hankies, and Reynard is like, my boy.
Yeah, because theirs were red. His is purple.
ALR will make one request. Presuming we all live through this, we're having a party here, right?
You would have to ask the proprietor, right?
We're gonna look.
I was gonna glance
what's
between
her
Rella
face?
and
Yeah, everybody like slowly turns to Rella. She's like, huh?
Brahm looks at Rella. And I feel like Rella looks at Brahm.
Like the two of them. Yeah, she looks at
ALR
Brahm.
was looking between the two of them because he figures, it's one of those two.
Reynard and Isengrim look at Rella, and she's like, huh? And Reynard's like, if we are being honest, we sort of just assumed you would reopen the bar after we left. There was nothing stopping you from opening it for business. And for the second time, she goes like, I never thought of that!
As we go to leave, Brahm's gonna take like a gold piece out and flip it to her and be like, "That's for the door," and then like backwards through the portal.
But yeah, you start to go backwards through the
other
portal.
side. Walter's gonna be like, I know for a fact that kind of door is like 2.5 gold. Just put that out there.
ALR's going to
It was
toss
just the
another
lock that broke.
gold piece through the closing portal. There you go.
Sinclair, I think, is going to stay behind here. As you guys back up, he's like, it's all the same to you guys, I think I'll stick around here. I think I've played the part that I needed to play. Plus, no offense to your Paladin City, but the food, I get the sense, sucks. And they've got the water here with the
they don't have
bagels.
the water.
and
Yeah,
bread.
they got the water.
So I'm gonna
Rowan
stay
goes,
here.
Oh crap! I didn't get a bagel as she like goes through the portal.
Yeah, you like
Walter,
you go to the portal, like,
Walter opens a portal with a bagel shop.
I like to think that, like, as it's closing, Brom, like, sticks his hand, like, his head and his arm back in, and then, like, Isengrim is just like, and hands a bag of bagels to him.
you guys go to back out, and Reynard is like, I think, please run next door to the boys and go get some bagels, please.
Thanks.
And Isengrim is like, I don't want to go to the boys. No. Well, I'm not French. I'm Russian. So I don't want to go to the boys.
I'm so angry I became French.
The whatever it was, the meat spinning Minotaur guy is always there. Right? Fine.
You don't
I'll
like
get
the
you bagels.
Minotaur?
The Minotaur.
Minotaur.
It's
Okay.
the worst thing I've ever heard.
Is
So you
Corey
guys,
staying here, or is she coming back with us?
She's gonna come back with you because she's gonna hang out at Lyra. She like talks to them real quickly. Says like, "Oh, okay, well, like, we'll be in touch. We'll send sendings to each other and this, that, and the other thing." And she's like, "What are you guys gonna do? Like, are you gonna go back to where you were?" And they're like, "Well, we don't have god powers anymore, so that's going to be a little more challenging." But they're like, yeah, we'll work something out. We have to, like, there's still some stuff that we're supposed to do before these chuckleheads get there. So they're like, yeah, we'll figure it out. And so you leave Reynard and Isengrim and High Fantasy Nick Offerman and Rella behind in the Twilight Royale, and you return to Lyra. Corey's like, well, that was eventful.
Welcome to the club.
Never boring.
Hey, you want to hear the worst thing you've heard all day for the 5th time that day? Anyway.
No.
So where to next? What's next on our agenda? I can open portals to anywhere I think I've been.
She's like, I think you guys have a dragon orb to steal. And at that, the Radiant Dawn brings you in the things that you asked for. So they give you a couple things. They give everybody a potion of superior healing. So you can all add that to your thing. They give you what's the other stuff you specifically asked for?
A couple of scrolls of comprehend language.
They give you scrolls of comprehend language for everybody. They can do that. The other thing that they give you, the Grand Marshal brings you this. He has like a case that he brings, and he opens it up, and inside it are 5 amulets. They have the holy symbol of Helm stamped into them, and they have like runes etched all around the outside of them that are like vaguely glowing, that sort of like iridescent greenish color that you guys associated with Rowan, that you associate with that thing that you found, and what they have set up at the perimeter, like between the mouth of the valley and the city. And the Grand Marshal tells you that these are essentially like prototypes of a personalized version of this artifact that you brought back that they've been studying. They call them medallions of turning. I'll give you guys an official like description thing later, but essentially this allows you wearing the medallion to use an action to cast like a sort of like lesser version of Turn Undead that will repel shades when you go into the Blighted Peninsula, because he kind of knows that's where you're going. He very much warns you, like, they'll do the trick, but like the whole thing with the Blighted Peninsula is that there's like a million of those shades, so like use them as a last resort and don't get overwhelmed.
Walter, you remember what the entrance to the palace looks like?
I'll open a portal. So what I'm pretty sure is the entrance to the palace.
Okay, so you do that.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I just want to like just to look at it, and if there's like any shades that are like directly in front of it, like I'll immediately close it so they don't come through.
Okay, make an Arcana check.
Oh, boy. It's an 8. 9. It's a 9.
Okay. With a 9. You can do it. What you find is, being that this is a place that you've not been, it is a little harder, which you found the last time you did this. You also find that something is interfering with your ability to, like, open one of these rifts in, like, the particular place that you're trying to drop it essentially, like, in the palace, like where you know,
Right.
and like
where we saw them.
where you
have
saw
that
them,
room.
right? Because that's what you have the visual of. You find that you can't. It's like you just can't push your mind against that barrier. What you manage to open is a rift that, from your kind of glance, seems to be in like the courtyard outside the main, like the big main gate to the palace, maybe 200 yards from the door. You don't see any shades immediately in the area. Everything is like still and like monochromatically. It's very. It does look a little similar to when you guys were in like the Shadowfell there. Like everything is just like bleak and overcast, and there's like overgrown like vegetation coming up through like the remnants of old stonework and things like that. But that is what you managed to like to tear open, and what you see inside.
Close enough is close enough, I guess. Ready to go through?
That's as close as we get, then that's as close as we get. ALR is going to cast Mage Armor, and... Okay. Hit it.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll go on through.
Alrighty. As you guys pass through, you arrive here.
I don't have a fan on.
In the ruined ancient city of High Invaria. As you saw from your peek through the portal, you are indeed in the courtyard of the castle, of the palace. You can see the large structure ahead of you. There are parts of it that are crumbling and falling apart, decomposed. There are parts of the high walls that used to surround it that have essentially disintegrated to nothing more than dust. You cast your glance backwards. You can see out the like the portcullis to what would have been the city behind you, and you see this massive sprawling landscape of just absolute ruin. Many of the buildings are made of that same alloy that you have come to recognize in high Invarian structures. It's the same alloy that makes up the walls of Mithlande, of Niveria. That seems to have been built to last, as structures comprised of that seem to be largely intact. You can see evidence. There are like huge swaths where parts of entire like city blocks have just been like appear to have been obliterated in a path that seems to indicate probably they were destroyed during Silarax's attack 1,500 years ago. Like, then they just bulldozed portions of the city down. You do see the, like, corners of shadows seem to be, like, undulating a little bit, and occasionally you see, like, the form of one of those shadow creatures kind of breaks free from the mass, just eerily, silently milling through streets that you see. In the courtyard where you stand, they are absent, at least from what you can see from here. To your left, there is a single building that is still intact inside the main castle keep walls, positioned near one of the near the main portcullis that looks like a guardhouse or a barracks. The rest of any other, like, structures that may have been, like, across the grounds here are just nothing more than, like, vague suggestions of where a structure once stood, like a pile of rubble and rocks. The palace itself, as I said, maybe 200 yards ahead of you. A set of, like, gargantuan doors, which are closed currently, up a set of steps.
Do you want to explore the guardhouse, or do you want to?
Guardhouse might have keys. And keys are faster than me having to unlock things.
Rowan would have told everybody long before we came through. Moving as quietly as you can is important here. Not drawing attention. Like, if we handle things, we handle it as quietly as possible. Like, because explaining that, like the basic pack mentality of once you're surrounded, you're screwed. So she just nods when Alar points out that if there's keys or if there's anything that could make getting in easier. But the look on her face says, we check quickly. She's, like, not talking at all. You can see on her face, she's like, crap back.
Yeah, Alar is speaking, this is second story work. He's on the job. His voice is very, very low, he is moving.
Okay.
Back me up. Just give me a moment.
Alrighty. So you guys head over to the guardhouse. There is only one entryway that you can see on the ground floor here, because essentially the back of the building is, like, backed up, connected to the wall. So there's one entry that you see. It is a heavy metal door, closed. There are windows on both the first and second stories. From what you can see, they are all tightly closed and shuttered.
Quick check of the door.
The door appears to be locked, from what you can tell. You see, it does have seems to have a mundane lock.
All right. Bringing out the thieves' tools and
Wait, I'm gonna motion to Alar. Do we have time for me to ritual cast silence?
If you want to take that time, you
I'll
can.
have this.
Is it a first level spell?
It's a second level spell. I'll have this done before I can.
That's fair.
So that is a. Let's see, it's double my proficiency bonus. So that's an 18.
You easily unlock the door, and you actually don't, as you work the tools in there, you don't unlock it so much as you put the tools in there, and whatever the mechanism inside is so aged that it just you just feel it break in there and crumble away, and you're able to freely turn the handle of the door.
Right. Slowly draws the rapier out, just in case there's a something unpleasant, and opens the door.
Rowan's actively, even though she knows it's probably gonna make her feel sick, she's trying to limit it to sensing immediate
Okay.
shades.
Okay. Rowan, make an Arcana check. And as you do that, Alar, you open the door. It opens about inch, and then it hits something.
17 Arcana.
You definitely are overwhelmed initially. You get a sense from inside the building, pretty near to where you are. But what really hits you is like getting punched in the side of the head, something from the center of the courtyard towards the front gates of the palace. You can't see anything, but it just radiates like a dark presence from over there.
Very quietly, Rowan will tell them, there's stuff in the guardhouse. There's something that we can't see over that way. We'll deal with that once we get what we need out of here.
There's something that's sticking on the door on the other side. Might make noise.
I am not the mission leader.
You're the most experienced of us right now.
I've never been in this place, and I've never been the one in charge. Rowan will approach the door with Alar.
Okay.
And just lean to see how heavy the block is of the door.
Make a...
Very carefully and slowly.
Wait,
Let's call
before
this
you
a...
do that, Alar is going to reach into a couple of pockets. He's going to pull out a small steel mirror, and he's going to attach it to a, like a stick.
Okay.
And he's just going to slide in a bit to try and get an idea of...
Sure. Make a perception check.
21.
With a 21, you see that the door has been barricaded from the inside by what appears to be all of the furniture that was on the first floor of this room. There's several desks, chairs, a table is all lodged against the door. You can kind of tell as you angle the mirror, a lot of it is in pretty bad condition. It's been sitting in there for a long time. You are fairly certain you could muscle your way in if you wanted to. You also can see, as you sort of angle around, there are two skeletons in barely holding together scraps of deteriorated cloth and bits of armor on the floor in the center of the room.
But we can see the center of the room.
Mm-hmm. It's not a huge building.
Walter. Rowan's brain is, if Walter can see it, then he can get us in there without us messing this pile up. Maybe.
How often can you use that wayfinder as spade?
We established bullshit spatial manipulation rules, so I'm not about to put limitations on them now.
Okay.
Walter's he looks at it and it's and I'll just squeeze a portal to the middle of the room.
Okay.
So from the outside to the inside.
Yep.
And I guess people can look portal stuff.
Sure. Everybody make
Portal
a
style,
perception check. Make another perception check as that happens.
27.
Ooh, 7.
15.
Okay. What did you say, Brom?
I said, because I had to look at my
Oh.
thing. 16.
Okay. All of you rolled high enough, because the opposing roll was very bad. You guys notice that eking out of one of the skeletons, and oozing out of the crack in the door that you made, are two shades which were trying to sneak up on you. One of them is coming through the door, from the outside. One of them begins to move, trying to, basically going to go like through Walter's portal to you guys. So go ahead and roll initiative.
Ooh, 1v1.
You
19.
7.
8. We got too high, too low. I've been playing too much Baldur's Gate. I just imagine all of our little icons popping up at the top of the screen.
Oz rolls a 1. Okay. Alar, you were the first to react. So, one is like misting through the crack in the door. One has like risen up out of one of the skeletons and is like floating towards you through Walter's portal.
He's going to whisper to Walter, close the portal, close the portal, close the portal, and he's going to jab his rapier into the cap to try and damage the thing. I don't. I mean, can it? It is magical.
It is a magical weapon. Okay, cool.
Yep. I don't know if that would apply for like sneak attack. I don't know if this thing can be sneak attacked.
It's not currently like engaged in any way.
I'm sure as hell not going to cast Booming Blade in the middle of this.
Can you give yourself advantage? Does your class have a way to give itself advantage?
No. Unfortunately, this isn't like the assassin subclass. And none of the spells I have would. Yep. So
straight
it's
attack.
Just standard stabbing.
Yep. So that's a 23 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead.
1d8 plus. So 6 points of damage because I rolled like crap.
Okay. So you sort of stab into it, and it's sort of like you do see some like black sort of smoke kind of like steams off of it, but it kind of starts to like reform around your sword as it keeps coming. Rowan, that brings us to you.
Did Walter close the portal yet? Or are you doing that on your
He'll
turn?
have to do that on his turn.
Rowan will jump through the portal.
Okay. So you jump inside the building. You
And I'm
come
running with
face-to-face.
Shakai straight at the thing.
All right, he rolled a hit.
18 plus 7.
Hits.
Okay. Uh, 12 points of damage on the first hit.
Okay, that hits, or rather, 12 doesn't take it down, but it sort of like fizzles.
Dirty 20 on the second hit.
That hits.
12 points of damage again.
All right, so you stab and then come back around and slice, and as your divine blade passes through it, the second time it cuts in half, and the two like ends of it just disintegrate as it is destroyed.
She'll face the door.
You can see
One,
like
just
the back
die on
part
it.
of the one that's coming out is like steaming through the
she's-
door right now.
Keeping an eye on it, and she's also kind of like trying to sense around her again still with like so she
Okay.
can't get sneaked up on.
All right, that's going to bring us to the one that is coming through the shade that is coming through the door is up. It is going to move through the doorway outside, and it is going to make an attack against Alar.
Okay, Marcus is 16.
Alrighty, it rolls a 14 on the die. It's an 18 total.
Field.
Okay, so you shield. And
So
it
21.
this sort of like shadowy claw rakes off of your arcane shield that pops up, and it does not successfully hit you. That's it. That's all it does. Walter, that brings us to you.
Sorry, I realized that I took a cantrip twice with the different classes I have. So the thing is outside.
Yep. Rowan is inside. The one that was in there is dead. I think since this is the first time this has come up, I would say in battle, having one of these portals open is going to count as like a concentration spell.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
you have to concentrate to keep
I
it.
would expect a little less. So I will, Walter, instead of casting some spells, I will cast Shillelagh,
Okay.
with my bonus action, and with my main action, I will use a nice new spell I've gotten from Mr. Moxham there, and I'm going to green flame blade this shovel and
Ooh, okay.
smack the hell out of this shade that went after Alar.
Cool. Roll to hit.
Alright, we're going to it's a +7 to hit. This is a why are you only at +7? No, it's more than that. It's +2. So it's an 11 to hit.
11 does not hit. It like morphs around the shovel.
Sure. He's not gonna say anything, but I will like stay in a defensive position.
Okay. Brahm.
I am going to. I forgot what I was going to do. I was going to use my new spell, I think, but I don't remember what it is now. What level was it? A second level spell? I've lost it. I made the mistake of messing with my
What was
level
the spell?
up. Yeah, I can't remember what it is now. It was my new spell.
What did it do?
That's the other thing. It does multiple things that I have to roll for. What the hell was it?
Just vicious.
You know what? I'm going to do something else. I'm going to cast Eye Bite.
Okay.
That's another new
Cast
spell.
Eye Bite. Okay.
High ass level spell.
Did-
Oh, it's a 6th level spell. Never mind.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
The hell?
Vicious mockery. This thing.
Yeah,
Because
whatever.
Rowan
It's
just
active
one shot it, right?
Well, 2 hits, but yeah.
Does it
My
have
oth-
to be able to understand you to be vicious mockery?
That's a good question. I think it does. Yeah, it does.
I sort of accidental metagamed. Is that what you were doing? Because if you did, it doesn't work.
No. What the hell was the new? Oh. I found it. Thayer's Mischief.
Okay.
So I gotta roll a d4, and one of 4 things is gonna happen.
Okay.
Roll a
There's
3.
There's like one guy left, right?
Yes.
Each creature in a cube must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or begin giggling until the start of my next turn. The giggling creature is incapacitated and uses all its movement to move in a random direction.
It's a
So I
charm
guess
effect.
I assume it
How
doesn't
big's a
tell me.
cube?
It doesn't say. Just
It-
each
it's
figure
part
in
of-
the
no,
cube.
it's
Oh,
part of the
so you
spell.
fill a 20-foot cube that you can see within range with Fey and
You are
Draconic
going
magic.
to hit everyone if you try and get this creature in that cube.
Something I will point out. I just looked up vicious mockery. If the target can hear you, though it need not understand
Oh,
you.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah, then
cool.
I'll do that.
All right, so it needs to make a wisdom save.
Yeah.
It rolls a 5.
Okay. 1d4.
Should be,
Max damage. 4
it should be
damage.
3.
It should be
D4 by now.
3d4.
Yeah, you're level 12, so
Increases when you the spell's damage increases by 1d4. Okay,
Yes,
3d4.
your powers
So
of making fun of people
four.
until they die have significantly increased.
6, 8.
8 total?
Yes.
Okay. brain farted there for a second. Okay. It definitely like kind of like spazzes, but it is still coming. Top of the order, Alar. That brings us back to you.
Gonna stick it again. Now
All
it's
right, roll to
engaged. Does a 14 hit?
14 hits.
All right. So I do 11 points before I start rolling sneak attack.
You don't have to worry about it.
Okay, sweet.
It's mega dead. You stab it, and it disappears. And you are out of combat.
Man, I wish I knew that spell a long time ago. All right.
Rowan hangs her head out through the portal.
Look. All right.
Hang.
Gonna
And
sneak
you'll-
in.
Yeah, he'll walk in and he's gonna toss the two bodies quietly. But
There's nothing to toss. They are like
Okay.
bones on the ground. So there's nothing to toss in there. All of the furniture in the room is like in shambles against this wall. There's really nothing to like look at on this first floor that you can see. There are like some weapon racks with some like mostly disintegrated swords in them. There is a staircase leading to a second story in here.
all right, up the stairs I go. Really quietly, or at least as quietly as I can. Which very large 19 on a stealth check.
Okay, yeah, you quietly move up the steps.
He gets to the top of the steps and he literally just goes. He's holding Scooter up, pulls him down, then pokes his own eyes up.
There is just a doorway at the top of the steps. It is closed.
Rowan would do her best to move as quietly as possible up because she's trying to still sense if there's more behind the door.
Rowan like goes to move, and Walter's like, and I'll make a portal from where she's standing to the stairs.
Right next to Ayla.
Okay.
I just nod and I
It's
very
like just-
still
it's like-
slowly walk
Like,
through.
like, if you need to.
Still slowly walk through, and I'm just trying to sense if there's shades behind the door.
You do not sense anything behind the door as you get up there.
I
She
check the
nods.
door.
Locked.
20, I think 5 with my, 25 for unlocking it.
Easily enough, you unlock the door.
Once again, Blade at the ready. Open the door.
The door opens. As you're kind of like being very gentle and slow, it catches, and you're like, fuck, it's barricaded again. But with just a little more pressure, it like continues to push open. And what happens is like something sort of like rumples out from beneath the bottom of the door. And as you kind of push it, you realize there was a like wadded up, very aged, very frail, like piece of cloth had been like stuffed under the door. But you push into the room and you are able to get a look on the inside. It is a single room up here. There is a bed in this chamber, a small table, a few other like accoutrements on a shelf, a small desk. Make a perception check.
20.
With a 20. Few things you see. You notice that all of the windows have been sealed and shuttered and have similar like pieces of like torn like cloth. You see like the sheets from the bed, it seems like were ripped and have all been like stuffed in every crevice on like all of the windows and like entrances and egresses. There is a skeleton in the center of the room. Beneath or above which there is like a central beam in the room, and you see that there is like a decayed, long since like snapped, like length of rope hanging from the beam above where the skeleton has fallen. You also see that there is, on the writing desk, there is a neatly, neatly arranged. There is a key. You see that there is a small, this sized stone. There is something that glints a little bit in the very dim light in here that's like filtering in through the shutters. And there is a small stack of papers that have all been seemingly meticulously arranged on this desk.
Alar moves over, and first thing he's going to do is, as carefully as he can, he's going to start reading the what's on the papers. If it's still,
it is written in High Anvarian, which is a language I think you are so familiar with.
yes, and but if necessary, he's like, what the hell am I doing? I mean, he's gonna break out the scroll and cast comprehend language.
What are you saying, Jason?
Jason?
I was saying I still have special eyes, so I
Oh,
I can read everything.
Okay, Walter, you wanna read this, and Alar's gonna look over the other pieces.
I'll sneaky my way up and take a look at what's written.
Okay. There are what appear to be a stack of sort of letters or journal entries. Alar, as you look through the other stuff, the key is a key. The insignia, you gauge to be a badge of office, though the design and all that, it doesn't mean anything to you, but it clearly is a badge of some sort of office, and by the looks of it, probably of a fairly important rank. The stone, when you pick it up, activates with a little bit of magic stored into it, and a minor illusion depicting the face of a little young little elven girl appears in the air above the stone. Walter, I'm gonna send you these in the order in which they are on
Remember to read out loud.
the desk. Yes,
I
thank
will
you.
read out loud. Thank you. I remembered this
I
time.
love you.
Thank you.
I like how you started to say you're gonna send him something, and I just immediately looked at Jason like,
I was like, okay, he's not gonna read it out loud. That's fine. All right. Okay. So Walter will begin trying to use the special eye magics.
Use your special eye magics. You find that you are able to interpret the High Anvarian.
And he will read it out loud thusly. 1. Create a new spreadsheet in Excel. Just kidding. Wrong section. The creatures swarm the countrysides beyond trapping me here. Huh? Let's see, what are you... That's what you sent me.
Start again. Read a little slower.
Courtyards.
Thank you.
The creatures swarm the courtyards beyond trapping me here. I have... it's gonna be staccato because Walter is also actively translating this.
Sure.
So, good luck. The timing might be off with the language.
Unless the word that gets misread actively changes the context of the thing, I'm not gonna correct you again.
I like the idea that is something Walter accidentally read out loud. It's like, nope. Sorry,
yeah, you go countryside, and then the packed magic goes no. read that again.
Incorrect, Mr. Gray.
I have seen no light or movement from the castle in 2 days. Athandriel and Calestius are gone. Mithandriel was mortally wounded when we barricaded ourselves inside. And like Walter will like kind of like look down at the two skelly mans that are downstairs. It's like, when he died, one of those things sprouted from his corpse. I barely made it up the stairs and managed to stuff my cloak beneath the door in time. They're hardly corporeal. The smallest air gap allows them entry. For now, I am safe. In the city, new fires spring up every so often. There must be others still fighting. I have enough food and water for a few days, hopefully enough to last until the High Imperion's army retakes the palace. For now, I wait and remain quiet. Minthariel Widowmoon, Captain of the Guard.
Okay. That's the next entry.
Next entry. Widowmoon, Captain. The silence is the worst part. I hear and see nothing from the city now. It has been 9 days. Every creak of a floorboard I make moving about my prison, I am sure will draw the creatures. The pains of my hunger and thirst leave me in a haze. I stare for hours to the east, sure that I will see the fires and banners of the army coming to save the city at any moment. Hope sustains me. Minthariel Widowmoon, Captain of the Guard.
Okay. The next entry.
This is an Arby's commercial. This is not Arby's commercial. I have been risking trying to send signals, a candle that I move from window to window every few hours. I cannot be the only one holed up for the creatures. Someone must be alive in the city. If I could just make contact somehow with someone, perhaps there's a way to reach them, to escape. I will keep trying while I still have strength.
And the final page.
The same. Without moon. Wow.
Whoops. And the final says that.
Noon is coming.
Spelled
No one is
correctly,
coming.
sir.
Is there supposed to be a hyphen or a dash?
You don't need it.
the final entry is just no one is coming. He didn't sign off. It's Walter like looks at the rope and it's like I guess if there's anything resembling a blanket, like Walter would probably like pseudo bury these people in their homes, but at this point I don't know. Like is there any kind of fabric remaining that's not fully decayed?
Not really.
So there's the things of interest we are able to grab. Do you want to take the stone,
Yeah.
or do you want to leave it with them?
He's looking at it and damn if that kid doesn't look a fair bit like Drusilla. He looks at it for a long while, and then he goes and he places it in the hand of the skeleton. It's not mine.
We have the key.
We have the key, and we have this badge, just in
And we
case this
need-
fills up something. And if it doesn't,
And we need a distraction.
there's a fuck ton of Ignians that would pay a metric fuck ton for something from High Invaria.
Rowan, you want to make this a funeral pyre and get to the door?
No.
Or you want to leave it? You want to leave it be and try to sneak over?
No traces of us. Let's go.
All right.
On our way out, maybe.
I don't know
Portal's
that we're
out,
taking
Walter.
that way
Let's
out.
not break that door.
Yeah, Walter will make a portal to the front yard.
Okay.
Okay.
Is the shiny thing that Alar had seen? Did were able to figure
That
out
was
what
the
it was?
that was the badge. That was the insignia.
Badge.
Okay. Just want to make sure I don't have to quick load.
All right. So there's only just those big doors. They're at least from where we are. There doesn't appear to be another.
You can see that there is like a guard entrance, like off to the side of that big door.
He points toward it and starts, silently stalking toward it.
Did Walter portal us right near
Walter can like
castle?
literally I portaled us outside.
Walter
Alar
will
At the
find
guardhouse.
that he cannot open a portal
Any closer?
up there. Like where you guys landed is as close as he can get with this thing for whatever reason.
Okay.
So like Walter will try to sneak us up there and then it'll fail and then we'll have to sneak.
Rowan's still focusing on bad feelings
Yeah,
in the
so
area.
you still sense like whatever that like whopper of a bit of a bad vibe is, like sort of smack in the center of this massive courtyard.
She walks very slowly and is urging everybody to bank around the center of the, like, does not even want her feet to get too close to this thing.
What do you say?
Okay, so you're kind of urging everybody, like, go, like, hug the wall all the way around to the building? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't trigger a
Rowan-
boss fight. Got it.
Rowan just looks at them, and you can all see she's a little green from how bad this feels. And she just shakes her head and swallows, like she's trying not to, like, be sick.
Okay.
And just keeps walking along the wall.
Everybody make a stealth check.
At 20?
Nice.
So that's 27.
I'll make you feel a little better. I rolled real poorly on the mark for what you're trying to beat.
Did worse than a 14?
I saw an 8.
On 8, Jason.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
8,
Oh, shit.
14.
14.
Had Rowan do?
10.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you what rolled a 5, but something rolled a 5. So you guys...
Yeah, Alar looks at those big doors. There's a thought in the back of his head, but he does not want to say it out loud.
Is the thought, I have the knock spell?
No, the thought in his head is that ever since he got here and thinking about that. Yeah. The one great big question of the fall of the Invarian Empire. What happened to Silarax?
Rowan just.
And he doesn't say
I know.
that out loud. That's in the back of his head, and he when he finally says it in his head, he's like, he just stops and goes,
Don't curse in Draconic.
Don't say.
no, he just says it in common. He just says,
Rowan just nods.
and he just continues heading toward the
Okay.
guardhouse.
Feel free to simply look at this on stream if you want, but I am opening up Tabletop Simulator.
All right, there we go. Now it kicked over.
And let's hide.
Oh, damn, it's 9:56?
Sure
Holy
is.
crap.
No, we started at like 7:45.
I feel like I blinked, and it was, it was
Well, we
like
didn't start till
8:30, not that. I know, but it felt like it was
Okay, so
9 o'clock 5 minutes ago.
you enter into a room that you are familiar with, a chamber that you are familiar with. It is the interior of the palace. The grand hall, much like you saw it in the vision, is a chamber that is as much a temple and an auditorium as it is a throne room. There's evidence of ornate pews, which are currently like stacked against the walls, though many of them right now are little more than rotted wood. A lectern off to one side of where the throne sits, which is as much like an altar as anything else, and you see that the back of the room is dominated by the grandiose pipe organ, which is still largely intact. As you enter, you see that there is a figure sitting on the throne. There are also half a dozen skeletal, like, courtiers sitting in seats flanking either side of the throne. None of them react as you enter.
He was thrown against a wall, right? In the vision.
I recall some not great things.
put him on the throne?
Given the shades
Himself.
outside, I'm wondering if it wasn't himself.
Might be, but all right, nice and quiet till we get to the pipe organ, which is gonna make a lot of noise. But we've got to get the orb. All right, this goes south. Walter, you get the orb, you get out. That's all that matters. Not me, not Rowan, not Brom, not Oz. We have to get that orb.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Me.
Maybe a little bit.
wait, Alar's gonna reach around. He's like, wait a
Hey,
minute.
no,
He's going to
Walter's-
hand Brom a scroll. Teleport.
Walter's like, it's gotta be
Wait,
all of us or nobody.
If it's
Rowan just makes a motion like
Let's go.
she gets it, but like she's too tense right now. She's gonna vomit at any minute. We gotta get through this.
Okay. You begin to move through.
We got some
the
corpses need burying.
okay. Quiet as he can, but also the history buff in him can't help but look around a bit and be like, "Holy crap! I'm in Hyanvaria's palace."
It is badly deteriorated, and there is a massive fucking hole in the side of the building where you saw a dragon come through 1,500 years ago. But the even what remains that you can see, like this chamber, this palace, must have been magnificent in its day. You walk across the mosaicked floors. You see as you begin to cross the space, you're walking below your feet on what you recognize as the part of the floor that you know opens. And as you get about to that point, you get about to the halfway point through the chamber, the figure on the seat lifts its head and looks right at you guys. And you see this. Pallid of complexion, strings of brittle white hair down to his shoulders, a deteriorated crown resting upon his brow, parts of his skull showing through places where pieces of his flesh are missing, is what must at one point have been High Empyrean Nosum Silverleaf. You can still sort of recognize him from when you saw him in the vision. And he says to you something that you don't understand. But it has the cant of a question. This is like...
Alar's going to hold up a finger, and he's going to break out that scroll, activate it, and
Google Glass, go.
So you're doing... Is anybody else doing their scrolls while he's...
I'll crack
Yeah,
I will.
probably.
it.
Yeah.
I need to know what's going on.
We all hold up a finger
Yeah,
and like
Alar's like,
break our translator scroll.
You do that. He goes like...
Memento.
Once
Is
you've
it
like
tongues?
activated...
Is it tongues or is it comprehend languages?
it's just comprehend languages. We can. He won't be able to understand us, but we'll understand him. Well, Alar will at least try to speak in what he knows in Hyanvarian.
Okay.
Again,
he repeats, and you hear he's still speaking Hyanvarian, but you understand it now. And he says, "It has been so long. Are you finally here to kill me?" And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Walter just gives a thumbs up.
yeah,
Someone smacks me.
yeah. I'm pretty sure Alar takes a very deep breath, like, Yeah.
Depends on how much of a dickbag you plan on being.
I mean, that is the Emperor of the Invarian Empire, and
So major
Yeah.
dickbag.
yeah, not
We've all
the
got beef.
the prudent, not the source of the great lie of Invaria, but it's Chief Enforcer. So yeah,
Yeah, no.
Eh, Walter's more like, this guy's
looks
been
pretty-
dead too long.
yeah, it looks pretty
he's
dead
ready to get
already.
Buried.
I mean, come on, who doesn't want to be a Kingslayer?
He looks
Especially Resident Evil
decidedly
King.
undead, and
doesn't
not
want to be a king?
overly happy about it.
Yeah, we're gonna do you a favor, buddy.
He does. He has. You
Says
get the
he's
distinct
stand there.
sense that like his question of like, "Are you going to kill me?" was like a
Please,
plea.
Kelly.
Like,
Yeah.
Don't kill him. No, you suffer, bitch.
All right. Well, hey, that's our session for tonight, and we are going to be off next week. I'm going to be in Oregon.
Oregon.
Ew.
There's only two things from Oregon.
There's nothing wrong with Oregon, as far as I know. Well, I hear Portland's not great these days.
I actually forgot about the stereotypes about Oregon, so.
So yes, we will be off next week, but then we should be on the week after that, I believe. So don't
Should be good, B.
don't miss next episode next time we play, which is the somethingeth. It's a date.
Fifth.
It's the
There you
5th
go,
of
5th.
September.
So yeah, don't miss that. Be sure to check out the other stuff right here on Proficiency Bonus. Thank you to our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle, and we will. Oh crap! What did I say I was going to say at the end of episodes?
Nope, no one remind him.
Oh, it was a rat beef?
I know what it is, but
PNG.
That's right.
God damn it!
I hate you all.
I figured out what my jersey
somebody.
could be.
I did see somebody in stream said Fool's Day.
Yes, you're
So
welcome.
we'll see you on next Fool's Day, and until then, in rat beef. I don't know. Bye.
PNG.
Rat beef to PNG.
Rat beef.png, everybody. Good night.